Dr. Waldrop, Dr. Strada, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, generous donors and friends of Hippocrates. 26 months ago, in April of 2014, we stood here and had a groundbreaking ceremony at this site, and today we have gathered to formally dedicate the statue and park of Hippocrates. Firstly, I want to personally thank Rachel Banks and Kathy Herndon from the Health Sciences Development and Alumni Relations, and my wife Patty for organizing this program today. A lot of work went into this event, and we appreciate all their efforts. It has been a long journey since AHEPA Chapter 310 decided to establish a foundation for the purpose of raising money and donating a statue of Hippocrates to this College of Medicine. As we progressed, the park was added to the wish list. This project started in the 20th century, in 1997, and now, 19 years later, in the 21st century, it has become a reality for us all to enjoy. Most of the park that you see today is built from solid granite, so it should last for several centuries. I would like to mention and thank a few people who were central to the designing and building of this park. My son, Thomas Panayiotou, the conceptual artist. Seamus O'Mahony, the sculptor of the statue. Mr. Mike Christensen and Mr. Michael Maybury, the architects and engineers. Mr. Jesse Phillips, who provided the granite and engravings. And Mr. Roy Lewis, the builder who made the park come to life. Mr. Gary Conley was responsible for the landscaping. My thanks also go to Mr. Randy Moon and Mr. Buckley Kelly and the team that maintained this park. I have seen many statues of Hippocrates, but I think that this is the most beautiful of all, although I'm a bit biased. Thank you to these talented people who created this park for us. All of this was, of course, made possible by the generous contributions of our donors, many of you who are here today. We thank you for your kind donation and for being here to celebrate this day with us. Your names are inscribed in granite at the entrance of this park and should last forever. Hopefully our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will visit this place in years to come and be proud of the heritage. Unfortunately, a few of our donors have passed on since the names were inscribed. These include Makis Foropoulos, Nicholas Palais, Judith Strada, Tess Riggles, and John Vallis Sr. The presence is missed today. A few details about this park and statue. Firstly, the tree of Hippocrates. In 1975, Steve and Sophia Clarkis from our community donated 2 offshoots from the original tree of Hippocrates from the island of Kos. These grew for several years but eventually died. The only thing that remains is the plaque commemorating the planting ceremony and is now under one of those trees leading to the dean's office. Last year, another offshoot was donated to us to replace the ones lost, but unfortunately it was dead on arrival. These Platanus orientalis don't seem to do well in this country. Interestingly, in 1961, an offshoot of the tree of Hippocrates was donated to the National Library of Medicine at the NIH. NIH, you may recall, was responsible for decoding the human genome. That tree, unfortunately, also died in 1980. But as the tree was dying, they collected and saved its DNA. And several years later, they cloned the tree, and they had a tree planting ceremony in 1991. I don't know what the current health status of that tree is, however. Well, since we had no original trees of Hippocrates to plant, we decided to plant American sycamore trees, also known as Platanus occidentalis. These are similar to the plane trees in Kos, but can withstand the North American climate better. Those are the trees back there. They look very healthy and hopefully grow. These trees can grow to more than 100 feet tall and can live up to 500 to 600 years. Now this statue of Hippocrates, this almost 8 feet tall and 5,000 pound statue was carved from a single piece of granite. The sculptor, Mr. Seamus O'Mahony, did a wonderful job in producing a statue that shows a serene, wise, and heroic figure of Hippocrates. Hippocrates is known as the father of medicine and is responsible for a code of ethics that is still in use today by physicians around the world. Hippocrates, together with his father and grandfather, were priest-physicians. He was the first physician to illustrate and prove that by careful history-taking and physical exam and deductive philosophical reasoning, disease was the product of environmental forces, diet, and living conditions, rather than punishment of the gods for sins committed by an individual or the community. This so-called the Hippocratic method allowed medicine to develop as a science rather than a simple belief, and with its humoral theory remained unchallenged for almost 2,000 years. Hippocrates made countless discoveries, and his writings formed the Hippocratic corpus consisting of 70 books, although it is debated whether he or his pupils are responsible for all these writings. However, the book of aphorisms is thought to be his own. Some of the most famous aphorisms are inscribed on the floor of this park. The Hippocratic oath that is inscribed on the back wall of this park is the one used to sway new physicians graduates from this College of Medicine. It was chosen by the students and faculty of this medical school. The Hippocratic oath has evolved through the centuries and has been modified to meet new social needs and different religions. All the credible oaths, however, still retain in some form or another the name of a higher being or a god. One of the reasons the Hippocratic oath has endured for so long is the belief of life after death and judgment after death. So we make a promise to our God that we will keep this oath and will bear the consequences even after we die, depending on our behavior and treatment of our patients. Although we are able to cure some diseases, relieve pain and suffering, prolong and improve quality of life in many of our patients, everybody will eventually die. As long as there's disease and death, medicine and religion will coexist. After all, people go to doctors for the medical ailments and to the spiritual leaders for the salvation of the soul. Some see medicine today as a technical activity, but in reality, medicine is still a commitment and a moral activity and an art. All patients should be treated by doctors with moral integrity and conviction, and trust remains central to our profession. In a few minutes, I will be calling all physicians here today to come join me and retake the oath around the statue of Hippocrates. It is also my hope that future graduate physicians at this university will take the oath of Hippocrates in this space. I noticed that this park has become popular for photograph taking with medical students and others. After the white coat ceremony last year, spectacular photographs taken in this park were shared through multiple social media sites. I hope this trend continues. I hear that also some wedding ceremonies are taking place in this park. This is wonderful. It's good luck to have rain at the ceremony. Please don't leave today without taking as many photos as you can. Wonderful memories will be made from days like this. We believe that this park complements the Fowler's replica at the entrance of the university, and it adds to the beauty of this campus. Dr. Waldrop and Dr. Strader, it is now my great pleasure and honor, on behalf of the AHEPA Hippocratic Foundation, to formally donate this statue and this park to the College of Medicine and the University of South Alabama. I now call on all physicians present today to get some rain. Please come and join me here so we can take the oath of Hippocrates. You too. Thank you.
Of what? Oh, okay.
Right here, right here.
That feels good.
Me, you still come sit down. Sorry? Can I put the umbrella down? Oh, for a picture, okay. Bill, come right here. We have the short people in front. Come right here, Bill. Okay, we're all ready? All together. I swear by Apollo the physician, Asclepius and health, and all the gods and goddesses, that according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and this stipulation, to reckon him who taught me this art, equally dear to me as my parents, to share my substance with him, and relive his necessities if required, to look up his offspring in the same footing as my own brothers, and to teach them this art, if they shall wish to learn it, without a fee or stipulation, and that by precept, lecture, and every other mode of instruction, I will impart the knowledge of the art to my own sons, and those of my teachers, and to disciples bound by stipulation and oath according to the law of medicine, and to none others. I will follow that system of regimen, which according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients, and abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous. I will give no deadly medicine to anyone if asked, nor suggest any such counsel. With purity and holiness, I will pass my life and practice my art. I will not cut persons laboring under the stone, but will live this to be done by men who are practitioners of this work. Into whatever house I enter, I will go into them for the benefit of the sick, and will abstain from every voluntary act of mischief and corruption, and further from seduction of females or males. Whatever in connection with my professional practice or not, in connection with it, I will see or hear in the life of men, which ought not to be spoken of abroad, I will not divulge, as reckoning that all should be kept secret. While I continue to keep this oath unviolated, may it be granted to me to enjoy life and the practice of the art, respected by all men, at all times. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my lot. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and have this wonderful day. President Warburg.